Hello everyone, I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So today we are having day 5 of Salesforce OmniStudio Bootcamp session, and I have Abhishek with me. Welcome Abhishek on the platform. So Abhishek will be delivering some more examples in front of you related to Data Raptor, and if we have time, so we will be discussing about Transform as well, right? So I hope till now you have followed all the session starting from day 1 to day 4, and you have done lots of practice related to Data Raptor. So today we are going to have last session of Data Raptor, and from tomorrow onwards we will be starting IP related session, that is integration procedure, right? So with
Um,
this
so,
note,
Sorry to interrupt, Sanjay. We will be having one more session on Data Raptor load tomorrow. So
okay.
IP will start. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, got it. So right now, like we covered Data Raptor export, Data Raptor turbo export, and we'll be covering transform today. And then yeah, Data Raptor load is pending. So one more session will be there for Data Raptor tomorrow, and from next week we'll be starting IP. Thank you, Abhishek, for correcting me. Okay, so with this, like we are moving forward. So, Abhishek, there might be some new folks joining today's session. So, please introduce yourself once again so that people know like what you have done and what you are doing for the community and for yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay. So, hi everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So, myself, Abhishek, and I'm working as a Salesforce and Velocity developer in Salesforce community. And I have overall of 5+ years of experience. And I am a trailer double star ranger, and I'm holding some certifications from Salesforce, which is first is like OmniStudio developer, for which we are doing all the trainings, and then I have CPQ specialist, Service Cloud, PD1, and admin, and I have done several projects on Velocity slash OmniStudio in my previous working tenure. So yeah.
Okay, so with this note, we are moving ahead. So, if you want to become part of a community where lots of freshers are connected and helping each other, so you can scan this QR code and you can join this group, Telegram group. Okay, and if you want to receive timely notification, you can follow Sanjay Gupta Tech School on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Telegram. And session tracker link is available in the video's description, where you will find all the session links together. Okay, and please provide some feedback or reviews so that we can improve and like we can have some motivation with your words. Okay, with this note, like Abhishek, just quickly recap whatever we have done for Data Raptor and what we'll be covering today. Over to you.
Yeah, sure, Sanjay. Thank you. So, in Data Raptor, as we have already seen, we have 4 types of Data Raptor. The first one is Data Raptor Turbo Extract, then we have Data Raptor Extract, and then we have Data Raptor Transform and Data Raptor Load. So, in our previous sessions, we have seen Data Raptor Turbo Extract and Data Raptor Extract. And we have seen several examples for Data Raptor Turbo and Data Raptor Extract, where we have fetched the data from single object, multiple objects, and we have we have used both the examples like hard coding the parameters into the where clause or the filter criteria and passing the dynamic values from the preview tab, right? So I'm hoping you all are following all these examples at your end to practice so that you can get more insights about Data Raptor Turbo Extract and Data Raptor Extract. And these are some examples of single and multiple objects. So in today's session, we're gonna see Formula tab. I mean, we're gonna explore more on Formula tab, how to use Formula tabs, and how we can filter or how we can leverage the Formula tab in the Data Raptors. So we're gonna have the examples of data. We're gonna see this Formula tab with the example of Data Raptor Extract, and after that we're gonna see how we why do we use Data Raptor Transform and how we can use the Data Raptor Transform. So let me quickly go to um, my OmniStudio environment where all the things we're gonna see. So if I go to okay, so if I go to data raptors, and if I open up any one data raptor that we have seen in our previous examples, so for example, yeah, this we can see. So in this example, what we have done is we are fetching the account records where active is equals to active param, and active param is our variable name, which is we are passing from the input parameters. Okay, and if I go to output, right, um, we are having the account records colon active field, country field, and the name field, right? And this account list size, from where we are getting this account list size, sorry, from where we are getting this account list size from the formula tab. So like if I go to formula and I have used this list size formula for counting the number of account records that we have got it that we get from the data raptor. So like if I go to preview and if I click execute, right? So as we can see, with the yes active, we have 4 accounts in my OmniStudio environment, and I'm getting the list size as 4. And if I change the yes to no, right, and if I click again, so I'm getting 21 records with the no account, no active account, right? So this can be one of the example where we can use the where we can use the formula tab. Now let's see another example, right? So for using the another example, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone this data raptor. Let's give it the name as, let's say, again, data raptor account records with formula. The save button. And now I'm gonna say, give me all the accounts where active is not equals to blank or null, right? And I'm gonna delete the formula that is not in used anymore. And from the output, this mapping is not required, so I'm gonna delete it. And if I go to preview, this input parameter is also not required because we have hard coded the null value. And if I click the execute, so I'm getting all the accounts where active is not equals to null, right? So I'm getting total of 25 accounts, and as you can see, we have account list size as 25, right? So now what we're gonna do is, with the help of formula tab, right? With the help of formula tab, we're gonna filter out all the account with the active is equals to no, right? So we are not using the filter criteria. We will be filtering all the records in the formula tab. Okay. So before going forward, I just want to show uh, a Salesforce developer guide, which is giving us all the formulas which can be used in the formula tab of data raptor, right? So Sanjay, I think you
Yeah,
can share this link with all the folks joining in.
yeah. So
And
I already placed this in the session tracker, and I'm pasting this link in the chat as well, so that anyone who is interested, they can copy.
yeah, so uh, so let's say, for example, we are having these type of operators in the formula tab, like and, or greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, right? And we have string operators as well, like, not like, and this insensitive comparison. Like if I want to compare this capital ABC with the small ABC, then it will return true. So this operator we use when we don't want to use the case sensitive things, and we have all the mathematical operators. Then we have functions, right? So for example, if you want to use a function where you want to add a day on a given date, right? So the point of or the purpose of showing this developer guide to you so that you can look around, because we cannot cover all the functions in the session. We're gonna see only one or two examples. So, but later on you can go to this developer guide and you can try any functions that you want to try in your formula tab, right? So for our example, where we are getting all the accounts where active is not equals to null, and I just want in my output the the all the accounts with the active is equals to no, right? So for that, what function we can use is we have a function called filter. Okay. So if I see the example of filter, right? The description says filter a list of JSON objects and return the subset of matches specified conditions, right? So if you go here in the example, as you can see, we are using the filter, and we have a list of JSON, right? And in the later part, we are saying where last name is equals to Smith. Okay. So we also have a similar kind of requirement, right? Where we want all the accounts with the active is equals to no, correct? So if I copy this one and let's say I'll create one more. We wanna use the filter, right? And in the filter, what we have to do. So we are getting all our results into this account records node, right? So we have to use. Okay. So we're gonna say list, and whatever records that we are getting into the account records, right? We have to convert it to the list, and then in the later part, what we want is, so what this will do is this account records. So you can imagine it like a for loop. Okay. So for example, you have got an account list from your SQL query. Now you have added a for loop, right? And then one by one, all the records will execute in your for loop. So so what you can think of till this part, right? Till this part, you have written your for loop. Okay. Now what you do in your Apex, you just pick the field, right? So I'm gonna pick my field. Let's say active is underscore C, right? Is equal. And if I go to example again, right? So if we want to use some sort of string parameter, so we have to provide double quotes, correct? So now if I go again and if I'm gonna say no, okay. So I'll reiterate this formula. So we have used the filter formula, and in the filter formula we have used our account records where we are getting all our accounts into the JSON format, and we have created a list of it. Then in the last bit, I have started single inverted comma, and I have said where active is equals no, correct? And what I'm gonna do is, whatever data I'm gonna I'm gonna get it from this account from this formula, right? I'm gonna put it into the account records stack. So in that case, you don't have to create a. Okay, we will see the example of account records one for now. Okay, like if I go to preview and if I click execute, I'm still getting all the 25 account records, right? Because whatever data that we have filtered, right, it's coming into the account records one, not into the account records. That means when you are using the filter formula on your account records, which is your original extract output path, right? this list will not get replaced. Whatever you will write into your result path, that is a list that will be created a newly one. Okay. So if I go to output, right, and if I create one more, let's say, account name, right, and
So here,
I'm gonna say
Abhishek, with this new list, we need to create mapping, right?
correct. So what I have done is all the mappings I have kept it, but I have created one more mapping with the account records one colon name into the account one colon name. Okay. And if I go to preview, now as you can see, we have two lists. First is of account and second is of
Account one.
account one. And if I go to JSON blob, okay, JSON blob, and if I paste it, as you can see, the original list is still holding the 25 records, but the another list is holding the 21 records now, right? So, but it's not a good practice to create a new node every time when you are doing some things on the filter on the formulas tab. So if I remove this one from here, right, and so now what will happen? This original extract output JSON path will hold the 25 records, right? And then we are filtering on that 25 records of list. Then whatever data we are getting, we are again overriding the account records, which was the original extract JSON path. Okay. Now if I go to preview and click execute, and if I copy this, and if I paste over here, oh, okay. It's getting 525. My bad. 1 second. Just a second, I think. Okay, it's getting multiplied. Okay.
Maybe I think we need to use different name because in previous formula also we are using new name. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it could be possible. But if I go to preview again,
Yeah, this time if we see the
yeah,
right hand side, so it is showing 25 records.
25 records, yeah.
So
Okay.
25 originally, and then after filter, it was showing 21.
Correct. So if you want to get the list of the list size of this list, right? So we can add one more formula, and we can say give me the list size of account records one, right? And I'm gonna say account list size one, okay? And I'll go in the output tab and click this. And now if I go to preview, there will be two nodes. First is account one, second is account list size one, and second is accounts original accounts. So account one is holding the 21 records with the active as no, and this account is holding all the records where the active is not equals to null. Okay, and we can simply change it. Like if I do this as yes, okay. So if you remember, we only had 4 records with the yes. So as you can see, we have only 4 records now, and account list size is equals to 4 now, right?
Yeah, so filter is working. Sorry, formula is working. Filtering is happening. The thing is, we need to use new list name, I guess, because old
Yeah.
one is giving multiplied records.
Yeah, old one did the multiply of the accounts. I mean, I can check it later on why that got happened. But yeah, I mean, for now we can go with the new filter, new listening.
Yeah, maybe if you can double check and if we can cover this tomorrow.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. So this can be the one example. And if I go to function reference again, right? So another example that we can take is okay. I mean, we can use the another example of add day. Okay. So what we're gonna do is in this add day, we can give a specific date into this function, and we can give number of days that you want to add to that given date, right? Then it will return us the newly created value, right? So if I go to formulas, right? I mean this does not have I mean nothing to do with the all account records. We are just creating one formula which can be used later on somewhere other place, right? So what we can do is like we will search for add day, and in this again we can use one more formula which is called as today. Okay. So this today will give you the today date, and in the other part we can say add one day to it. Okay, and let's say result can be new date, and again we have to create a mapping of this one to the in the output tab, right? So this new date, and if I go to preview and click execute, so as you can see, we have received 24th of August, correct?
Yeah,
And
so
today is 23rd.
it is increasing its value by one. Yeah.
So you guys can also go to this developer guide of functions, and whatever functions you want to try on, you can just read the description. You can see one of the examples as well, and you can do all the hands-on by yourself as well from this function reference.
So Abhishek, one thing, the last formula which you created for new date, so it is somewhere similar to the formula that we create in flows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because this last formula is not dependent to any object; it is independent.
Correct. I mean, there are some conditions. So, for example, if I'll give you the example, uh, I have a requirement where I want to say that give me all the accounts which is created a day before today. Okay. So how I will get the date of day before today. Okay. So I can do simply I'll go to the formula, right? And I'll say add day, give me the today date, and I'll add -1 to it. Okay. So this will give me the date of a day before today, right? And then I can use this date to filter out my account records.
Right.
So like if I go into the preview and if I see the execute, as you can see, it will give me the 22 of August, 22nd of August.
1 day prior today.
Correct. So this is how you can use some formulas or some functions which will not be dependent on any of the any of the objects, but it still those will be still used for making some business logic or create some business logic.
Yeah, I think in flows also we create formula and we can use that formula anywhere, maybe in data element or in any conditional like decision loop. So similarly here we can create a formula and we can use it as a filter condition as well, right?
Yeah, right.
So Sambram is asking formula result path, any naming convention we can give. So formula result path, yeah.
So formula result path, I mean, you should never use like 1, 2. You can say like account records
list
with active no, something like that.
Right. And it should be in camel case, right?
Yeah, it should be in camel case.
Yeah. I hope Samram this answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is there for all the formulas. I mean, you can try multiple formulas by yourself, and if you face any sort of issue, we can cover those formula into the next session. Right?
Yep, I think with the help of this demonstration, guys can implement the other examples. So if you can show the slides, so their examples are available.
Yeah.
Yep, so guys, three examples are available, and first is already explained. So next two you can try yourself, and if you see any challenge, so in any of the session you can raise your concern. So we'll try to resolve that.
Yeah. So moving forward, so I think Sanjay, that we have already covered how to use data after extract with the help of input param. So do you want me to explain one more example around it?
Maybe if you can open any previous example and just walk us through.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I also remember like in data extract, you explained both the things like hard coded value and then you replaced it with input parameter.
Correct. So, okay, I think this is a similar kind of example. This could be contacts with account.
Yeah, I think you can open this one account with contacts or contacts with account. I think both are having input parameters.
Yep. Okay.
No, in this
I think
one.
let's do one thing. I'll create one more data raptor for fetching all the opportunities where amount is greater than something, whatever
Okay.
value we give.
Yeah, perfect. And that value we can provide as input parameter.
Correct. I'm gonna say data raptor extract opportunity records, right? Type will be extract, input output will be JSON, and in the extract JSON path, what we can say is we will select my object from where I want to fetch my records. Then I'm gonna give the extract output path like OPP records. Where I'm gonna say is amount, right, is greater than or equal to whatever amount I'm gonna give it from the input parameter screen or the previous screen. So let's say the param can be called as amount param, okay? And if I go to output, okay, so you're gonna get some values like opportunity records amount, and let's call it OPP colon amount. Let's take one more field, can be close date, OPP colon close date, and I'll go to preview. So now if I execute it, this will not give me any sort of result. The reason is we haven't passed the amount param value, right? Now if I go to, I'll create one param which is this amount param, and I'm going to give, let's say, value as 1,000. Then if I click execute, it will give me all the opportunity where the amount is greater than equals to 1,000. Right? And for example, now if I want to do is like, let's say 20,000, and if I click execute, now it will give me all the opportunities where amount is greater than equal to 20,000, right? So I mean, each and every time when we want to fetch the opportunity records with some filter criteria on the opportunity on the amount value on the opportunity object, right? Then we don't have to change it from extract step. We can just simply pass the whatever value we want to pass it to the query. We can pass it from here. So this is the biggest benefit of using the data raptor. So I mean, whenever you are using the input parameters, right? then this data raptor can be called from multiple IPs, multiple integration procedures, multiple OmniScript. So let's say if you are hard coding the value over here, for example, that the example that we saw in the first example, the 1,000 value. If we hard code it over here, then I cannot use this data raptor on the multiple integration procedures, because it will always give me the value or the opportunities where amount is greater than equals to 1,000. But if I'm using this amount param, then this amount param I can pass it from integration procedure rather than hard coding over here. So this data raptor can be used from multiple IPs, from multiple OmniScripts, where we will be passing just this value, and this data raptor will give us all the opportunities, whatever value we will pass it from the IP or the OmniScript. So this is the biggest benefit of using the input parameters or the dynamic parameters.
Yep, I
Right.
think it is helpful, and if I'm not wrong, in real time projects, I think we need to apply this approach instead of hard coding.
Yeah.
And if we use OmniStudio, sorry, this data raptor with integration procedure, so I think this input will be receiving, this data raptor will be receiving from IP, right?
Correct. So we will be passing this parameter from IP. I mean, wherever you will be using this data raptor, you will be passing this parameter from that source.
Right.
Right.
And if I relate this with flow, so in flow we generally create some input variable which is known as record ID, right? So
Correct.
whenever we place that screen flow, we need to pass that record ID. So it is generally fetched from that particular record page. So I think it is similar kind of thing. So for testing purpose, right now we are passing the values, but if we are using this data raptor with any of the tool of OmniStudio, so through that tool, it will be receiving some input values.
Yeah. And there is another benefit of using OmniStudio tools is that like if you're creating a OmniStudio data raptor, then you must be thinking you can only use it into the IP, you can only use it into the OmniScript or the Flex card. But that is not the case. You can even use these data raptors with the LWC components, with the Apex classes as well.
Okay, so data raptor directly we can use in LWC.
Correct.
This is something great.
Yeah. So I mean, sometimes what happens, there is some functionality which cannot be implemented with the help of OmniScript. So we generally go with the approach of LWC, right? We just create custom LWCs. But my technical architect or my team lead is saying you can go with the approach of LWC, but you cannot create a Apex class to get the data.
Okay.
Right? So in that case, I will still create the LWC because my functionality cannot be implemented with the help of OmniScript. But for fetching the data, for saving the data, or doing some business logic around it, I can still use the data raptor and call it from the LWC.
Yeah, I think it is understandable.
Yep. So if I go back to the slides, sorry. And another thing that we're going to cover in the today's session is data raptor transform. Okay. So we generally use data raptor transform whenever. So I mean, I'll go to the example only. So for example, you have used your data raptor extract and you are receiving all your data into the OPP node. Then you have the close rate and then you have the amount, right? So for example, you are using this data raptor from an IP where the parent node, if I'm using this data raptor into the IP, I'll receive all the results into the OPP node, right? But my OmniScript is expecting the output into the opportunity node, not in the OPP node, right? So for these sort of things, when you want to change the key part of the JSON or the value part of the JSON. So, for example, you have received your data from your data raptor extract or turbo extract. Now you want to change the key part of that JSON. So this close date is the key part, and this date is the value part of this JSON. Correct? So if you want to change any one of them, you can do it with the help of data raptor transform. Now we're gonna go and create one data raptor transform. New. And for creating the data raptor transform, the naming convention is data raptor transform, DRT. So I'm gonna say is let's say opportunity records. Transform the opportunity records, correct? And in the interface type, I'm gonna say transform, and input and output type will be the JSON only. Okay. So as you can see, in the data raptor transform, we don't have the extract step. We only have formulas. We only have transforms, options, and preview. Right? Why don't we have the extract step into the transform? Because data raptor transform only used for transforming or the changing the naming naming conventions of either the key part of the JSON or the value part of the JSON. Right? So if I go to this DRE opportunity record, so I'm gonna copy this output, okay? And I'm gonna again go to the TRT transforms, and so here we don't have any sort of extract step, correct? So for using the data raptor transform, you will be always passing some sort of JSON, right? So if I go to transforms, in the input JSON, I can paste. I mean, this is just for testing purpose, right? So whatever data. So what will be the general scenario is in your IP, you will be calling your data raptor extract, where you will be getting your data from, like right now we are getting the opportunity data, and in the same IP you will be calling your data raptor transform. Okay. So from the first data raptor extract, you will be getting the opportunity records, and whatever data you are receiving from that data raptor extract, you will be passing it to the data raptor transform. So we can assume this data raptor extract opportunity records has been already called from your IP, and whatever output is coming from this data raptor, we are passing this output to this data raptor transform. And for the testing purpose, we can just copy all the whatever data we have received from the data raptor extract and paste it over here. And if I go to quick match, so as you can see, in the input mappings, I have two things: OPP colon amount, OPP colon close date, right? Now, formula tab, we have already seen how we can leverage the formula tab. Like if you again want to do some sort of filter sort of thing, you can simply do like this: use the filter, then use the list, right? Then pass OPP over here because your list name is OPP. Then in then we will be using the comma, and then here we're gonna say amount is greater than equals to, let's say, 1,000. So formula tab functionality will be the exact same. So I mean, I have just written this formula just to tell you like formula tab is similar. So I'm gonna delete it.
So
now I will go to
Abhishek here. Whatever we are passing as input in this transform, so formula will be filtering that data, right?
Correct.
If we use that filter function.
Correct. So basically, in data raptor transform, there is no extract step. So you will not be getting any sort of value from from any of the object. You will be just giving some input to this data raptor transform, and you will be getting some output from this data raptor transform.
Okay.
And why do we use data raptor transform? Just to change either the key part of the JSON or the value part of the JSON.
Okay.
Right. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the key part of the JSON. So if I go back to the transform, so what we're gonna say is uh, for this amount, we're gonna call it as opportunity amount. So I'm changing the key part of this JSON. Okay. So I'm gonna click this plus icon, and I'm gonna say OPP colon opportunity amount, right? And in the input JSON, I'm gonna select OPP amount.
So whatever
Okay.
input JSON will be having as key, so all those will be available here in input JSON path automatically.
Correct. And
Okay.
now if I go to preview, right? As you can see, whatever data I have pasted into this input JSON is coming
Automatically here.
automatically in this part. And if I hit the execute button, we have OPP colon opportunity amount.
Okay.
So
And close date is also not available because we have not created mapping.
yeah. So this can be another use case of data raptor transform.
Okay.
If you want to trim your data down, let's say your data raptor extract is giving you 20 fields. You don't need all 20 fields. You just need 2 fields. Then also in that case also you can use the data raptor transform.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it is very useful. I think so. It basically fulfilling two purposes: changing key value. So key we understood. So how will be changing value part, because value will be different for every record.
Yeah, yeah. So for that, what we have to use is
Okay,
formula tab.
formula. Got it. So if we want to manipulate or play around with the value, so we can use this. Like you
Correct.
use add days, right? Sort of thing. So we have closed it, and if you want to modify that, so we can use filter. Sorry,
Correct.
formula.
And another example can be of data raptor transform is, let's say in your input you are just getting the close date and amount, right? Now you want to get one more field into the each and every node of opportunity as, let's say, today date.
Okay.
Okay. So what we can do is, so first we're gonna create a mapping of close date so that we will receive the close date also. Okay. Close date, preview, execute. So now I'm receiving the close date and opportunity amount both. I'll go to the formula. I'll say, give me the today date, and I'm gonna call it as, let's say, today date. Okay. And I'll go to transform. In the input JSON, I can simply say, give me the value with whatever is coming from today date in the formula, and I'll call it as today date into the output. So now if I go to preview and click execute, right? So with the close date and opportunity amount, in each and every node of opportunity, I'm getting the today date as well.
Yeah, that's why it is transform.
Correct.
So we can trim down data, we can change key, we can change values, and we can add some new values as well.
Exactly.
Excellent. And it won't be like extracting any data of its own. It will be receiving the extracted data from any data raptor, and then it will transform and will give data back to any other tool. It can be IP
Yeah.
or something else.
Correct. So that is how it is being used. You will be calling some sort of data raptor extract from your IP, and then for transforming your data, you will be creating a data raptor transform. So your data raptor extract and data raptor transform will work together into one IP.
Right. Okay, so anything else that we need to cover?
No, I think for today
Yeah.
it is enough, and all the folks can go try out all the functions that we have seen.
Yeah. So guys, for Data Raptor, as of now, we have covered turbo extract first, then we covered extract, and then we covered transform. So one more feature is remaining for Data Raptor, that is load, and we'll try to cover that in next session. If not possible, then we'll be having one more session. And Data Raptor is the important tool of OmniStudio, because after that IP, FlexCard, and OmniScript, they totally depend on the business requirement, right? So we'll try to explain you all those features with different examples. And as you can see, everything we are explaining theoretically as well as with the help of demonstrations. So now the most important thing is, if you do regular practice, if you follow all the sessions, do regular practice, then only you will be able to understand. And uh, once data raptor is completed, then we'll be moving to IP. And while implementing IP, so whatever data raptor we have created, so those we will be using with IP, right? So without having knowledge of data raptor, you won't be able to understand IP or maybe FlexCard and OmniScript, right? So everything is connected. So please do regular practice, whatever use cases we have shown there in the slides, right? And anytime if you see any doubt, so you can ask questions in the chat or in the Telegram group. So we'll try to help you out. Okay. So I think we can end the session here only. We don't have any question in the chat. So thank you, Abhishek, for sharing the insights and explaining everything in detail with the help of example. It is appreciable. And maybe tomorrow we'll be covering data raptor load, and we'll try to finish this.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Those who joined session live and those who are watching the recording, thanks to you as well.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.